Hello and welcome to my community. I'm Fred Albert, the host, and we are so glad that you have joined us today. We have in store a wonderful conversation with the most amazing, magnificent Millie Snyder. Millie needs no introduction. Millie, you have been so helpful to thousands of people in our state.
Yes.
And thank you for all that you've done.
Thank you, Fred. It's my pleasure.
Well, our topic today is we want to talk about healthy living.
Yes.
And I know that you know all about healthy living.
I do.
So
I do. I know a lot.
let's talk about what you're doing to continue to help other people.
Well, of course, I think I'm well known for the fact that I was the gal who brought Weight Watchers to West Virginia.
That's right.
And that was indeed my joy. But Weight Watchers is no longer the group that we thought. So I sold the business in 2013, and then I couldn't do anything in the industry for 3 years. And then when the non-compete portion was up, I decided that I wanted to continue doing what I've always done, and that's helping people help themselves. Because I can't lose anybody's weight.
No.
And I'm not going to go to anybody's house and cook. I have to go home and do that for myself. So I put myself on the Mediterranean lifestyle, and once I got the hang of it, which took about 3.5, 4 weeks,
Okay.
I never looked back. It is absolutely not a diet, it's a lifestyle, and it's about eating clean, healthy, fresh food.
Well, that's what I want to talk about. We hear the term Mediterranean
Yes.
lifestyle or Mediterranean food. What does that consist of? Do you have to give up
Nothing.
something, or what is it about?
We have the most magnificent bread, not white enriched bread that's wrapped in a package where all the good stuff has been taken out.
Okay.
We eat good, hearty rye bread, black bread, anything that is made with 100% whole wheat flour. When you look at bread that says enriched,
Right.
all the good stuff is taken out of it and it's put into other things, and you're getting no value, no nutritional value.
So where do you find that healthy bread? I mean,
At the bakeries like we have a Charleston bakery
Right.
in Charleston.
Okay.
In different parts of West Virginia, there are bakeries that make their own bread, and usually when a bakery makes its own bread, it's good substance.
Okay.
But we also have to read labels. I'll give you an example. Just yesterday, I was shopping, and there was a 2-for-1 sale for you could get bagels or you could get English muffins, and what a deal! You
love them both.
Yeah, you pay for one, and then you walk out with 2 packages.
Okay.
And I'm figuring, well, I have them in the freezer. But then I stop and I read the label, and the first ingredient is white enriched bread,
Ah.
and I put it back on the shelf.
that's a cause to pause.
Cause to pause. Now, I will tell you that regular white bread, if you cut off the crust and took the inside and put it in a bucket with water, and you stirred it hard enough, you can make a lovely wallpaper paste.
I was going to say it sounds like glue making to me.
That's exactly what it is.
Wow.
And we are putting things in our bodies because that's the way our mothers taught us. And who taught our mothers but our grandmothers?
Grandmothers.
And they didn't have the knowledge that we have. Plus, our Creator, however we think in terms of the Almighty, there was no provision for our bodies to handle these chemicals, these additives, these things that make us ill, because the body stores it up and causes problems. So our eating habits are not important, they are crucial.
And we learn those eating habits, or we develop those eating habits at a very early age in our
Absolutely.
lives.
Absolutely.
And speaking of a diet plan, I read something the other day. Of course, we all look at Facebook. Well, many of us look at Facebook too much, but there was something called Daniel's Diet, and it was supposedly out of a scripture from the
Yes.
Bible, but it looked kind of like a Mediterranean, what I would think maybe would be a Mediterranean type
Well, I'd love to see the
lifestyle.
diet just to make
It
a
was
comment.
basically lots of fruits and vegetables, and I think the protein came from legumes.
And that's a vegetarian way of doing Mediterranean. You can also use chicken, turkey. We recommend fish 2-3 times a week. But of course, our oceans are not the cleanest. So
Right.
therefore, we're not having fish 5-6 times a week. But there's so many other things to supplement. You never have to eat meat. And as far as beef is concerned, it should be occasional. But you can certainly do wonderful things with chicken, turkey, ground beef. Not even ground beef, but I meant to say ground turkey.
Okay.
There's so many wonderful recipes.
And speaking of fish, makes me have another question. What do you think of farm-raised fish? I've heard bad things about it.
What have you heard? 'Cause
I've heard that it's like poisonous. That it's
Well,
it's not the way to go. That you need natural
Yes.
or wild-caught fish.
And what's happening with the farm-raised fish, they're swimming in a very small area.
Exactly.
And they're not getting exercise.
Right.
We do better when we exercise
Sure.
on a regular basis. Well, the things we eat also need to have exercise. So farm-raised is to make it quickly and sell it quickly and get everybody to buy it, but it's not the best quality.
Okay. You mentioned exercise. Is exercise part of the Mediterranean lifestyle?
We
or-
would like you to be physically active if it's nothing more than going for a walk for 20, 30 minutes a day.
Well, walks are good for not just your physical body, but your mental capacity, your mental
Absolutely.
health, and it's good for the soul to get out in nature and see what's happening. You know, I'm a great advocate for walking. I love walking along what I call my favorite river, the Canal River. We have some great walking paths here
Oh,
in
yes,
our
we do.
area
Yes.
and throughout our state, actually, with our state parks and other places. It's good to get out in nature and take a walk.
Get some air in your nose,
Yes.
and you can forget the world for a little bit of time,
Right.
or you can think more about your own thoughts. But walking is just good for your heart, your head, every vessel in your body.
And I see people walking in all stages of their life. I see people out, you know, who look like they're maybe not real active or they're not real comfortable. Maybe the age has taken a toll on their body, but they're still out trying to get some outside exercise
You know,
and walking.
if you have health problems or you're not as physically active as you once were,
Right.
still any activity that you do based on your ability to sustain that is good.
Exactly.
And your doctor would recommend that.
Sure.
Your friends would recommend it, and it's sometimes good to have a walking partner.
Yes.
Or be in a group so everybody can keep up with everybody else. Getting some physical activity.
And walking with others, that's that aspect of socialization that we so desperately need.
And there are many people, based on the Mediterranean way of life, live in the blue zone. And the blue zone
Oh,
is
yes.
where people live a long time, they eat only fresh, clean food, and they have socialization. They eat meals with friends, and they have activity in their life. And there are many parts around the globe that actually are designated as the blue zone.
Right.
Charleston is not a blue zone.
No,
but
it's
we
not.
can create our own blue zone with our friends and our lifestyle right here, right now.
Sure. Millie, you're most known, of course, for Weight Watchers. I
Yes.
think you're synonymous with Weight Watchers because
am.
you started Weight Watchers in West Virginia
Yes.
back in 1965 or something like that.
1969.
1969.
And when I told my family I'm moving to Charleston, West Virginia, they were sure I said the planet Mars.
Or the other, they're like, do you mean
There-
the other Charleston? But so you came to Charleston, West Virginia in 1969.
Yes.
And you were so successful with Weight Watchers and you helped so many people through that program. I know that I was a Weight Watchers person several times, but I know your classes were always the most popular because you just have that ability to connect with people and to inspire them and you really love people and you love helping people.
I do.
And it comes across so clearly. So we had Weight Watchers. Now we don't have Weight Watchers.
No, not the Weight Watchers that we had. You can contact Weight Watchers, and they will hook you up with a doctor for some of the diabetes medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and some other names. There's one called Mounjaro. But I want to send out an alert and say, please think twice about diet medications. We have to learn how to eat.
Right.
We have to learn how to have breakfast, lunch, supper. Plus, on Mediterranean, you can have snacks in between breakfast and lunch, and in between lunch and supper. And then when you're watching TV, you can have a snack then too.
All healthy.
All healthy.
So Weight Watchers has pretty much gone away as we knew it.
As we knew it, it's gone. I mean,
And
we
is that
had,
nationally? Is that throughout the country?
Yes, that's nationally.
So they don't have Weight Watcher meetings in the community
well, there
like
are,
the
you know
ones did?
what is happening, Fred? There are some people who have put together their own homespun group.
Okay.
And they're just keeping each other encouraged. In fact, on the 26th of February, I'm invited to Eleanor to speak at the Eleanor Presbyterian Church because those people are interested to find out about the Mediterranean lifestyle.
So that's what I want to talk about is the Mediterranean lifestyle. You have meetings
Yes.
at the Shape Shop.
Yes, in a
at
private meeting room.
706 Central Avenue. I know that address.
Thank you.
And you meet on Thursdays at 9:15
yes.
a.m.
Right.
and at 4:15 p.m.
Yes.
on Thursdays.
Right.
What happens there? What do you do?
Well, you know, I've always built it around the model of Weight Watchers, and that is it's group support and it's good conversation, and we have a different healthy topic every week. Plus, we have some fun, because
Okay.
if we can't have fun and do some laughing, I don't want to be a part of it. Because we have to
understand.
laugh at ourselves a
Sure.
little bit, not take ourselves so deadpan seriously, so that we can see that the light at the end of the tunnel is not another train. It's actually the light.
It's the light you want to see.
Exactly.
Do you weigh in?
Yes, we do
you
weigh
do
in.
come and weigh.
Yes. And that's only as a barometer.
All
It's
right.
not a judgment call.
Yeah, you're not.
And
you're
it was
not,
never a judgment
You're not
call.
concentrating on
No,
that.
no, we don't want somebody to say, "Oh my God, I gained a pound."
right.
Why? You know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah. So you're concentrating on healthy living, a healthy
living.
lifestyle,
But
healthy
living,
eating,
healthy, yes.
eating
everything.
healthy foods. So let's talk about that. What would a Mediterranean type breakfast look like?
Well, let's see. Yesterday, I had 2 of our bran muffins from our Shape
Oh
Shop.
man, those bran muffins are wonderful. I had 2 this morning.
But I mixed mine with a banana and plain yogurt.
Okay.
And I was absolutely enjoying every bite. And I mix it up ahead of time. Then I go and I get dressed. Then I come downstairs and everything kind of gets married in the bowl.
So all of those are Mediterranean types of
Or
food.
oatmeal. And sometimes I'll put different fruits in my oatmeal.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a poached egg. Sometimes it's an egg omelet. Sometimes I'll make an omelet and I'll put a piece of cheese in it. And then I fold it over. And sometimes before I fold it over, I'll put in some sliced tomatoes.
You're making me hungry. Well, okay, so that's breakfast.
And that's just breakfast. We haven't
That's-
even gotten
I know,
to
that's
lunch.
breakfast. And it all sounds delicious. Fresh food. So what would lunch be like?
Well, before I came, my grandson, by the way, because there's such a little bit of parking around here today
Right.
because of the legislature, my grandson brought me here. But I made lunch for him, and using Dave's Killer bread,
Okay.
I made him a chicken sandwich, I made the chicken, and I sliced it real thin, and we put on mustard and tomato and lettuce and chicken, and he's going to be 18 years old, so every time I look at him, I think he's taller.
He probably is.
So I made him a sandwich and a half, and then
I was going to say, I bet he'd want 2 of those.
and then he had some pickles, and then he had a fruit, and then he was playing with my cat, and then it was time to come down here
Okay.
and talk with you.
But that sounds like a great
And
lunch.
that's just a typical lunch.
Okay.
If people come down to the Shape Shop to eat, everything we sell in that store is fresh, clean, nothing is processed. Nothing.
Well, I want to talk about the Shape Shop because I've been there the last 3 days
Thank
for
you.
lunch.
Thank you.
On Saturday, I came and I got a taco salad,
Yes.
which was absolutely wonderful. I mean, and I was treated so nicely by the people who work there. I don't know how many people you have working there, but just so.
I have a great lady on Saturday.
Well, she was very nice to me and very helpful. I had, of course, the muffins. I had the orange cranberry, and then she had just baked, on Monday, she had just finished baking some fresh peanut butter muffins, and they were still warm,
And-
and they were phenomenal.
And that peanut butter isn't the peanut butter from a jar. That's powdered peanut butter.
Really?
That has 85% of the fat taken out.
Wow.
But when you mix it into the
Oh man,
You
it
have
was, it was really good.
peanut butter
Yeah,
muffins, those
yes.
are, I can't say which one is my favorite. I like them all. But really, that peanut butter is
It
right
was- it
there,
was
pretty
very
darn
good.
near the top.
It's very good.
But then there's the cranberry almond, not almond, cranberry orange walnut. That's brand new.
No, I haven't
That's
had
what I
that one
had
yet,
yesterday
so
with the
I'll-
yogurt.
I'll have to come back
They
and
are
get some of those.
unbelievably delicious.
Well, I'm sure they are. The other soup that I had was I bought some soup to take home because you have a nice variety of soups.
Yeah,
I bought the vegetable soup, which is an old standby, and I had the stuffed pepper soup, which was, it tastes like stuffed peppers, which I love. And then I bought my all-time favorite is the white chicken chili.
Yes, that's so popular.
It's very,
The white
very
bean
good.
chicken chili is very popular. The stuffed pepper is also made with ground turkey
Okay.
and also brown rice, because brown
Right.
rice, which is on the Mediterranean
Far
lifestyle,
healthier than
it stays with you longer. When you buy white rice, it's white enriched rice, so anything that was good in there was
Taken
taken
out.
and put to something else.
Okay.
Yes, the rice tastes like rice. If you are going to an Oriental restaurant, you can ask for brown rice and they have it. And if they don't have it, then you can eat the white rice, but it's in your best interest to have the brown rice.
Okay. What about, so all of those soups would be considered the Mediterranean
Yes,
type?
because everything in the
Fresh.
soup is fresh.
Okay.
Nothing,
Lots of
we
vegetables.
don't have a chemical that we add to anything.
That's
Nothing.
good to know.
It's all fresh food. And I want people to know that, when we moved from Patrick Street, which was such a popular place, people used to go into Weight Watchers.
Right.
And then after they would get weighed, they would come into the Shape Shop and buy ice cream. Then they
Yes.
would bring the ice cream. That was not my rule. People created that. But when we left Patrick Street, the whole Patrick Street changed.
Oh, it's all changed. It's
Yeah,
different when
U-Haul
Kmart
came
moved
in.
out.
Oh,
And,
and that was
the whole,
I must say, when Kmart moved out, it was a loss to the West Side.
it was.
Because I used to shop there, and
Sure.
I had to find another resource. But when we left Patrick Street for a short time, we moved out to Sissonville, while our 706 Central Avenue, which used to be the Weight Watchers General Office,
Okay.
had to be remodeled into a food store. So there we are. We got it done, and our grand opening was February 24, 2020, and we were open for a week and a half,
And
and
then
it was the pandemic.
And then COVID, I was going to say,
And
wow,
so many
what timing,
people-
or what timing?
So many people thought that we just closed up and left,
No.
and we didn't. But during the pandemic, and believe me, Shape Shop wasn't the only. Everybody suffered.
Sure.
It changed life as we
It
knew
did.
it. But we were reduced to curbside. And I don't know, I think 2 or 3 people would, drive by and pick up lunch. So it was a difficult time, but everybody suffered through that. And then when we came through it, we're still people are suffering from remnants
Right.
of the pandemic.
Well, and I think it just changed people's habits. It changed, people are still, reluctant to go out. It's still, you find places where they're understaffed because they still can't find people to work.
Exactly right.
But you are so innovative and so creative. You found other ways. I know you've been hit with what happened on the West Side not too long ago with the water crisis, the
Oh, my
gas
goodness,
line,
yes.
water line, and I've heard that you or your people, the people who do your chefs, your cooks,
I have a great staff.
they were cooking things on grills.
Absolutely. We made the vegetable soup outdoor. My role in that soup on our grill was I had to go and make sure that the propane tank was full.
Wow.
And it took a lot of hours to cook the soup.
It would.
But I must tell you, in my lifetime, I've never made soup on a grill.
Creative and innovative, you have to be. Plus, you have the food truck.
Yes.
I guess you still have the food truck.
Yes, we still have the
And
food
is that doing well? Is
Well,
that-
when we can take it out.
Right.
When we can, and it's very, very seasonal. We're looking towards Live on the Levee, on Friday nights, and then Stern Wheel Regatta will be back. And then there are some places that like to hire the food truck for special events.
Okay.
And whenever we can do that, we are very excited to have that
Are
opportunity.
you there for the Rib Fest?
No.
I was going to say, I don't know if that's.
But that's counterproductive.
Yeah, that's what I would say. But you give them you give them a healthy
Well,
alternative.
we did. You know, a couple of years ago, then the Rib Fest, the name was sold to another company.
Okay.
But when that last time that they did it out in Dunbar, no one came to eat healthy food. Everyone came to eat ribs.
I'm sure
and
they
they
did.
weren't eating one or two.
No.
They
no.
were taking them home in big boxes.
Racks of ribs.
Yes.
So you have been to the regatta. Was that
It
successful
was
for you?
wonderful,
Great.
just wonderful.
Good.
And I think our mayor has just done a wonderful thing for Charleston.
She has, and even during COVID.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
the street was closed off for
people
the
could-
restaurants there to
Yeah.
bring food outside. So that's it being innovative
It
and,
was, very
and
much so,
creative.
yes.
And you mentioned Live on the Levee on Friday nights. So
And then around at City Center, of course, it's Slack Plaza.
Sure.
So many people think of it as Slack Plaza, but it actually is City Center.
Right.
And it's also been great for the food truck. And there are many events that are held there. And when we can, we'd like to participate and bring the food truck. People really look out for our truck and the things that we make. You know, one night, Tiffany, who's one of our chefs, for Live on the Levee, she was putting out salmon bites on a bed of quinoa.
Ooh.
And I said, what? On a food truck? Anyway, she said, let's try it, Millie. And she sold out
I
of
bet.
salmon bites with quinoa.
Wow. I
What?
would never
When
have-
has anyone gone to a food truck to get that kind of cuisine?
I'm not familiar with anyone
And my
who
grandson
has.
thinks that the salmon bites are the best thing he ever put in his
Is
mouth.
that right?
Yes.
So speaking of the Shape Shop,
Yes.
I want to dispel a rumor. It is not closing.
No,
You are
no.
not closing
Please.
the Shape Shop.
It's not closing.
And I was there. It's very well and vibrant and great food. I also want to mention I had a fresh turkey panini
Ah.
sandwich on Monday, and it was
that
was
turkey is
phenomenal.
turkey.
I know it is.
Nothing
and it tastes
else is
like
in that
turkey. It was wonderful.
Yes.
I also have had a smoothie.
Yes.
So
oh,
they make smoothies.
yes. Fresh frozen fruit.
It was-
low sugar ice
Yeah.
cream, a little bit of apple juice. Oh, I just gave the recipe.
Well, it was good. It was delicious.
Yes.
I think I had strawberry.
That's good.
But very, very good. And of course, your Dippy Doos.
Yes, and we're
Can't
still
do
making.
without
In
Dippy
fact, we
Doos.
delivered Dippy Doos today. I went in. I went to Piggly Wiggly to make a delivery, and somebody said Millie is in the store. So before I left, they gave me an order for 21 cases.
Oh my word.
But it takes a little bit of time because our Dippy Doo product is handmade,
Okay.
and there's an
Still the
individ-
original Dippy Doo. I mean, nothing's changed about that.
except the gentleman from Marshall University, when it used to be Robert C. Byrd Institute,
Mm-hmm.
they, instead of making it by freehand, there's an actual mold
Okay.
that the ice cream is put into. And it even has the swirl when you take it out of the mold.
Wow.
And we have the stick in it. And people love Dippy Doos.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And they're in 21 flavors.
You do sell them to local grocery stores,
Some Kroger's, Piggly Wiggly, Par Mar stores.
and
Yes.
then you have them there at the Shape Shop.
Yes.
A nice selection.
Nice selection.
What would you say is the best? Do you have a bestseller? Is there something that
I think
you
Milky
s-
Bite is pretty popular, and then since you love peanut butter, you must try. It's called PB2.
Okay.
So we take this powdered peanut butter and put it into the vanilla ice cream. Then we put that into the mold.
Okay.
So that's peanut butter ice cream. And then when we take it out of the mold, then we dip it in peanut butter topping.
Wow.
So it's PB
Peanut-
squared.
Yeah, sure.
So if that doesn't help your
You
peanut
get a double
butter,
dose of peanut
yes,
butter.
but they are just wonderful.
They sound
And then we have a
wonderful.
peanut butter drizzle,
Okay.
and I think there's one other with peanut butter, but forgive me, I can't think of the third peanut butter
That's
one.
quite all right.
But
You're
there,
forgiven.
and then there's also a vanilla, just a plain old vanilla dipped in peanut butter by itself.
Okay.
And that's one of my favorites.
So Millie, what advice do you? Oh, we never got to dinner. we talked about breakfast and we talked about lunch on the Mediterranean diet. What would dinner look like?
Well, let me tell you what I had for dinner last night.
Okay.
I had of course, I always have a salad in my refrigerator. And last night I mixed into it, I had made some salmon, fresh salmon, and I used different seasonings with it. And I crumbled that piece of salmon up. And, I'm a Weight Watcher from, I joined Weight Watchers in Baltimore in 1966.
Oh, my.
And when I joined, that man said to me, "Do you want to buy a scale?" I said, "I can't weigh myself on that." He said, "No, we weigh our food." I thought that was ridiculous. So I bought a scale, and so I still use a scale just to make sure that the portions make sense.
Okay.
I can use my eye for that.
Sure.
But I'm a bit of a diehard in that
Right.
respect because I have to admit to you,
Old habits are hard to break.
yeah, but it's a good one.
Yeah.
But I must admit that I was a little bit brainwashed in that. So I still use the scale for.
No problem with that.
I still weigh my potatoes just to
Yeah.
make sure I'm in the right range. And so I put salmon into a big salad. And I also added some tzatziki. Have you tried tzatziki yet?
I'm not sure I have.
Oh, well, you can
Is
buy it
that
at
is that
Kroger's, Aldi's. It's Greek yogurt, and it's got different flavors in it. You can buy a tzatziki with artichokes.
Oh,
You can buy a tzatziki with cucumber and dill.
I'll have
And
to
they're
check into
So I
that.
put a couple of dollops of that in there.
Okay.
And then I use some lemon juice and some olive oil, and I mix this whole thing up. And then I watch the news, Wheel of Fortune, and Jeopardy. That's my evening routine,
And then
except on Thursday.
okay,
I can't
because
do
you
it.
have class.
Yes.
And then if you wanted to have a snack, what would that snack look like? An orange, an apple, or something?
Well, there's
or
many.
Dippy Doo?
Well, we tried. Yes, the Dippy Doos are wonderful, Fred, but we should use them sparingly.
Okay.
Because there is some sugar. Sugar is not our friend.
No, it
And
isn't.
what I have to say, it's somewhat of on a negative note, but it's true. Cancer feeds off of sugar.
I've
and
heard
we
that.
need to be aware of that.
Yes.
So everything we make in our store is low sugar. We don't use sugar in our baking. And we also have an ice cream machine that just puts out sugar-free ice cream.
Okay.
There's one that's a favorite for a lot of customers, chocolate on one side and peanut butter here, and then it comes together in the middle, and I'm very happy when that happens.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
Yeah.
sure most people would be very
Yes.
happy when that comes together. So, Millie, before we leave, what word of advice do you have? You have been so successful, and I know you love helping people, but if I ask you, what's the best advice you could give?
I want people to take inventory of themselves, their health, what has the doctor recommended, and don't just turn them off and don't put it off another week, another month. Yeah, you'll get around to it in the summer, and yeah, you'll get around to it. You're not going to do it around Christmas time
No.
because we have a trifecta that starts with Halloween, then it's Thanksgiving, and then it's Christmas, and then of course you have all that leftover. Don't wait till then.
No.
Let's take stock of ourselves and know that we are the ones, they're only ones who can take care of ourselves.
Thank you.
If I could do it for you, I probably wouldn't because it wouldn't work.
No. Millie, thank you so much for being with us on My Community, and thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to the next time. Thank you, Millie.
My pleasure.